All right, here we are. Got chapter 7, tools and supplies. All right, what size of wrench is used to loosen a 1/8 inch bolt? It's gonna be B 5/16. So in order for the wrench to get over that bolt, it needs to be at least, it needs to be 3/16 larger. So they already told you that the bolt is 1/8, so you gotta multiply it to get to the common denominator. So you get 2/16, so 3/16 plus 2/16 is 5/16. That's on, you find out more about that on page 100. Number 2, which of the following could not be used to describe a box wrench? That's going to be D, open-ended. Note, box wrench and box end wrench are the same thing, page 102. 3, which type of wrench can be used to access a bolt side or nut from the side? Bolt head or nut from the side. That's going to be C, open-end wrench, page 102. Number 4, when should you push and pull on a wrench? When, the way they word it is interesting, but the answer is D, always pull. That's on page 100. There's a safety note box and it says always pull, safety box. All right, number 5, which tool is used to remove the screw with the hexagonal indent in the head? The key word right there, it's hex key wrench, also known as an Allen wrench, page 104. And that's actually the next question. Also on page 104, another name for a hex key wrench is a Allen wrench. All right, a blank, let me see, make sure I can get that in the, all right, that's in there. All right, a blank wrench is used to open and close service valve. That's gonna be refrigeration service valve wrench, page 105. A blank is used to drive parts together without damaging them. A mallet, B, 106. Mainly used for cutting wires. We're on number 9. Mainly used for cutting wires. Blank have angled jaws for making nearly flush cuts. That's A, diagonal pliers, page 107. Number 10. Drill bit sizes are specified by the blank of the hole they create, diameter. That's A, that's on page 110. Number 11, which of the following is not a common type of punch? D, mushroom punch, page 112. The rest are legit. 12, which file type has only single cut teeth? A, that's going to be a mill file. A, mill file, page 112 to 113. Number 13, a hacksaw with blank teeth per inch is used to cut thin metal tubing and hard metal. That is 32 teeth, page 114. Number 14, we're at it. When cutting a hole into masonry to install an anchor for outdoor condensing unit, the best tool is B, it's going to be a hammer drill. That's on page 114. All right, to quickly remove or tighten fasteners for unit assembly, the best tool is to use a blank impact driver, page 115. Number 16, when cutting large holes through walls, floors, or ceilings for installation of air registers on ductwork, the best tool is to use a C reciprocating saw, page 115. The most common, number 17, the most common way to check a thermometer for accuracy is to dip it in blank to get a reading close to 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I put on page 116, that's a mixture of ice and water. 18, use a blank when installing so the end result will be level and plumb, level, page 114B. 19, a thermometer may be used to measure the temperature of an evaporator, returned air supply, and the liquid line and suction line. So all 3, so that's all the above, D, page 116. A multimeter is used often to measure the blank in a refrigerator system, current, and also does resistance and voltage. But the answer is A, 119. The type of threshold fastener designed to hold, number 21, to hold together a mechanism without using a nut is a cap screw, number D, letter D, page 121. 22, common metric screw thread types include all the following except D, offset. The 4th one missing from this is average. So it's fine, extra fine, coarse, and average. Page 121. The answer for this is D. There is no offset for that. 23, a tight nut or bolt may be loosened safely by A, soaking, B, heating, and C, tapping. So soaking, heating, and tapping, page 120. It cut off there, my writing, but it's D, all the above. Which of the following should be not used as a cleaning solvent? C, carbon tetrachloride, page 123. Last one for the multiple choice, 25. Which of the following is provided by employers? D, all the above, page 123. Now we're into the critical thinking. Demonstrate how to hold a hammer and deliver light, accurate blows. All right, if we go over to page 106, pro tip, word for word, it tells you grasp the handle about 2/3 the way Grasp the handle about 2/3 of the way back from the head. For light, accurate blows, hold the hammer with the index finger on top of the handle and use wrist action. For heavy blows, hold the hammer with fingers around the handle and use elbows. All right, that's in the pro tip on page 106. Number 2, demonstrate the correct stroke when using a hacksaw to keep the cutting edge sharp. Explain why this method keeps the teeth sharp. All right, so for that one, you're gonna go to page 114. Keeping blade teeth sharp. There's a box that says keeping blade teeth sharp. They're going to use that box for the first part, and then the second part is the paragraph directly above it. All right, so the keeping blade teeth sharp is lifting the blade slightly on the back stroke will help keep the cutting edges sharp. If the blade is not lifted, chips may roll between the work and the cutting edge of the blade, dulling the teeth. And the second part is most blades are made out of high carbon steel, and their cutting edges points are very sharp and very small. Cutting too rapidly will cause the points to overheat and lose their tempered hardness. So that's why they'll overheat and lose their tempered hardness. That's the why. All right, number 3, list 3 commonly used abrasives other than sandpaper and describe some applications used. Why would one abrasive work better in situations than other abrasives? So on page 122, it tells you everything besides the sandpaper. You got emery, and that's more fine and extra fine. You got aluminum oxide, extra fine, fine, and medium. And then you got silicon carbide, fine, finest, medium, fine, and medium. So different abrasives have several different grades and variation and coarseness, which can affect different surfaces, right? Obviously, something's too abrasive. Maybe you're dealing with a sensitive product where you do need to smooth it down, but you don't want to mess with the integrity. You change which variation you want to use. All right, number 4, why do you think that service companies provide some tools and instruments for technicians, but not other tools and instruments? I'm saying because they're guaranteeing their quality of work of what can and can't be done. So when a product is put in to, they can say they know how well that specific product works, that specific brand. So they don't want someone else subbing in different products. Why they don't give all the tools like multimeters and stuff like that is because if that repair person isn't paying for it, they may care about it less and be more likely to drop it and I'll just get a new one, as opposed by making sure that at least that piece they pay for. So some sort of responsibility and financial responsibility is on them.